Hi, class. So this is for writing and psychology, and this is for the very last paper, the literature review. I am getting a lot of emails with a lot of questions, which is fine. I am very happy to answer those for y'all. But I thought by maybe posting a video, I could clear up a lot of the more broad questions. So this is for the final paper. It's called a literature review, and what you're doing is you're taking at least 8 sources and you're combining them to review one topic in APA format. So you need at least 8 peer-reviewed journal articles. You can use more than that. You can use additional sources. You could use the dictionary or APA or stats on mental health or a book, or you can use additional stuff if you want to help make your paper more clear and cohesive. But you at least have to have 8 peer-reviewed journal articles from the last 10 years. You can use articles that you used for your previous papers if you've been writing about things that you care about and you want to write about that topic again. It's okay that you repeat articles from the last 3 papers. So that could be 3 of your topics if they go together, or 3 of your sources if they go together. If not, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But you need 8. And what you're doing with your literature review is you're taking these 8 sources and you're trying to say something. So maybe you're talking about depression. So you have one article that talks about depression in minors, and you have another one that talks about depression in young adults and depression in adults. And if um, being in a rural community versus being in a city, if that has, if they're differentiating depression rates in those populations or things like that, just anything that you want to talk about that you can weave together to make one paper and review one thing and say, I looked at this article by so and so and so and so and so and so, cite the year, state that this population, blah, 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 whatever you're saying. It could be anything related to psychology. So that could be mental diseases, that could be drugs, that could be disorders, that could be children, developmental, older populations, different races, different gender differences. I mean, really, it could be anything that you could even remotely tie to psychology, which pretty much opens up the whole world for you. So, 8 articles talking about something that you're trying to talk about, but it's still not your opinion. I don't want to see eyes. I looked at this. We did this. I found, because you aren't finding, right? You're not the researcher. You're not the one doing the research, so you can't say that. But you can say so and so found this, and that led to blah blah blah. The only place that really you're free writing and you're not just taking this information and restating it and piecing it together to create this theme so that you're just kind of giving this information is maybe the end, because at the end you're going to talk about, in your actual discussion section, you're going to say what these articles found, and then it's going to be the point of your paper, right? You're saying that psychologists need to look at. You're looking at future direction. You're saying the limitations. And although there are probably limitation sections in each of those articles, you can use those, but you can also say, the study was limited because they didn't do whatever. It was during COVID, so they couldn't see people in real life, or whatever the limitation might be. So future direction, that can be what you're saying. Hey, in the future, I think we need to look at, or whatever. But don't say we. In the future, this needs to be looked at, or psychologists should look at, but don't use first person. We don't like it in APA. So right now what's due is the title page and your reference page, because I want to see that you have all of those references there, that you have at least 8 sources. But you don't have to attach the PDFs anymore. And then it's worth 30 points. So the title page and the reference page is worth 5 points. And then you have a few weeks and then the whole paper's due. Title page seamlessly through your whole paper. You will need an abstract for this one. You can or cannot have an author note. It probably should have an author's note because this is you and it's not the authors from your papers. That's you. That's your author's note because you're the author of this paper. But if you don't have one, I won't count off for it. Title page, author's note, if you want to create one, abstract, and then you go into your intro section, method, results, discussion, and then you'll have your references. And that reference page is only for your references. So if you're only doing 8 journal articles, you should only have 8 references. It needs to be in alphabetical order. Make sure you follow APA format. Y'all are doing so much better with APA. I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all really have stepped it up. And the first papers versus the papers I'm seeing now are worlds different. So y'all should be proud. APA is hard and it's technical and it's boring and it's dry and it's just weird to learn how to write. I felt like I had to forget everything I learned in writing in English and start over when I went to writing and psych. But y'all are doing amazing. So um, just follow the example in the book and email me if you have questions. I'm still going to go on and reply to all of y'all's emails, hopefully tonight, if not by the end of tonight, tomorrow. Um, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you an overview. So then the whole paper, that when you turn in the whole thing, that's worth 25 points. So that's 30% of your entire grade for this one paper. It's a big deal. But I want to see you take a lot of information, synthesize it, weave it together, and then be able to regurgitate it, be able to tell me what these people did and what they found and this common theme and where the research should go from there. So your Turnitin score shouldn't ever be higher than 30. The lower the better. I mean, under 10 is ideal and that's perfect. But because there are only so many ways that you can state a p-value, there are only so many ways that you can say so and so and so and so found this in this population. We know that you can only state these in certain ways without making stuff up or changing the information that's being presented. So I'll allow up to 30%, maybe 40, but that's really, you're pushing plagiarism at that point. Like find a way to say it differently. You can say stuff differently. So I don't know, be proud. You're almost done. You have like a month left and y'all are doing great. And I would look forward to seeing your emails and reading your papers and reach out if you have any questions.